Silent, black, cold, painful. Rosa regained consciousness bit by bit. And the first thing she thought was that it would have been better if she hadn't. After all, with her body this cold and hurting, the pain grew the more her consciousness returned. It felt like she'd been sleeping on ice-cold marble in the darkness, lying face down for a long time. This is why I always tell myself, even if it's just for a nap, I've got to at least grab a sofa. I know that if I naively try to close my eyes for just a second and end up sleeping on the floor in the study chair, it'll hurt my body later and make things difficult. Since I slept on such a cold and hard floor, even my bones are ice cold. Since I slept on such a hard and cold floor, the half of my face pressed down against it hurts a lot. If I were to look in a mirror right now, I'm sure I'd see an embarrassing mark. I didn't think that just rubbing it would make that mark disappear, but I stroked the hurting side of my face anyway, trying to smooth it over. I wonder where this is. I thought it was pitch black, but it looks like it isn't. After all, I can faintly see my own body. Without a doubt, there was some source of light. But even if I looked up at the ceiling, or else the sky, there was only an expanse of blackness, and I couldn't see a proper light. My body alone was slightly lit, whereas everything else was sunk in darkness. That's what this world was like. It was almost as though Rosa alone had been abandoned in a forgotten world. As her mind grew clearer, she started getting nervous about why she was all alone in a lonely place like this. When she was about to call out, asking if anyone was there, she heard the patter of footsteps coming towards her. They were light footsteps, so she thought it was probably a kid. She didn't sense anything disturbing, so she wasn't afraid. But they also weren't Maria's footsteps, so, wondering who in the world would be in a darkness like this, she stared in the direction of the footsteps were coming from. As she did, a faint, approaching silhouette came into view. It looked like a child much younger than Maria. Who is it? I don't know this kid. But the expression on his face was like a lost child separated from his parents. As a parent with a daughter herself, Rosa felt as though her chest had been torn apart.
Uryu.
The instant the kid muttered that infantile word, she felt pain in the half of her face that had started hurting from the cold floor, as though it had been pierced by long, thin, hard needles. Without thinking, she pressed a hand against that side of her face.
大丈夫？まだ痛い？ありがとう、僕。ここはどこ？すごく寒いわ。こっちへ来て。ここにいちゃいけない。
That child took my other hand and pulled with a grim expression on his face. Rosa didn't have a clue what was going on. However, a single honest expression on a child can often tell the truth better than 100 words from an adult. She didn't know the situation, but even so, she dashed along with him, still being pulled. But this was a world where nothing could be seen in the darkness except for their own forms. It didn't even really feel like she was moving forwards. Even though she was running, she couldn't even feel any wind. It was as though she was still inside a nightmare, that kind of unreal sensation. So even though I ran, I couldn't maintain my sense of balance and my legs got tangled and I fell. Even in a world that didn't feel real, the pain of smashing my face against the cold, hard floor was reality itself.
ウリュウ、大丈夫？
ごめんなさいね。頭が痛むの。
When the kid said that, infantile word Uryu, pain like being stuck with needles, ran through my head again. Even though it had only happened twice, I was somehow able to understand that a child's word was the cause of my pain. So I said so frankly.
ごめんなさい。その、ウリュウという口癖をやめてもらえる？
ウリュウ。
ちょっと、やめてって言ってるでしょ。
ごめんなさい。
I had a feeling that this child's apology caused a sharp pain in my forehead this time. What is this child? I know there's no malice in him, but when I'm around this child, my head hurts.
大丈夫？早く行こう。ここは行っちゃダメ。
どうしてここにいちゃダメなの？ねえ。ここはどこ？あなたは誰？あなたのママはどこ？
僕を作ってくれたのはママだよ。
え？
That child stared at me with round eyes. This kid's mama is me? Who? Who is this kid? I don't remember at all.
僕のこと忘れちゃった。ママが僕を作ったんだよ。
ちょっと冗談はやめて。私の子供はマリアだけよ。そう。マリアはどこ？マリアはどこなの？マリア！
I suddenly grew nervous about Maria not being there. Why am I all alone in a place like this? Where's Maria? I'm only able to be me because Maria is there for me.
マリアはいるけど、今はマリアじゃない。今は会わない方がいいの。その方がママのためだし、マリアのためなの。マリアのためにも、逃げて。
え？何を言ってるの？マリアはどこ？マリア！返事をして！
マリアに見つかっちゃう。早くこっちに来て、ママ！
That child pulled on my hand again. He was probably pulling me in the opposite direction from Maria. So I stopped walking.
話してよ、大体。あなたは誰よ？あなたにママなんて言われる覚えはないわよ。
僕を作ってくれたのはママだよ。忘れちゃったの？マリアのバースデープレゼントにするために僕を手作りしてくれたの。忘れちゃったの？
あなた、マリアの作太郎。
うん。ママに作ってもらったライオンのぬいぐるみだよ。
A fierce, sharp pain struck me. It came from the palm he had grasped with his hand. When I knocked his hand away without thinking and looked at my palm, a hole the size of a thumb had opened there, and deep red blood gushed out. It was a hole so big that I could see through to the other side.
大丈夫？どうしたの？
Sakutaro noticed my wound and panicked. As far as I could tell by looking at him, he couldn't understand why my hand had sustained a serious injury. But in my eyes, it felt like I'd been injured because he grabbed my hand. Regardless of whether there was malice in him, I understood that this child was something that would do harm to me, and he instantly seemed eerie.
あっちへ行って。あなたなんか知らないわ。作太郎は気持ち悪い下手くそなぬいぐるみ。私は知らないわよ。ママなんかじゃないわよ。あっちへ行って。消えて。
Slowly, the base of Sakutaro's neck was sliced in a horizontal line. It gaped open and pitch black insides peeked out. No blood poured from it, only an empty blackness peeked out. Then, from the insides of the gash, cotton snow poured out, and as bits of cotton scattered, he slumped over. Then, all that remained was a crumpled yellow cloth, and bits of cotton that looked like sticky, crushed cotton candy. A lion, stuffed animal. Without a doubt. These were the remains of the Sakutaro stuffed animal I tore apart on that day, while overcome by my emotions. The instant I realized that, a long, sharp shriek that could rupture an eardrum tore the world apart. Like a flood from a broken dam, or like a broken TV. Maria cried out in a high-pitched voice. A voice which made the airs throb, brought up two emotions in me. One was regret. Yeah, I was overcome by my emotions and went overboard. It was a mother's desire to kneel down right away, hold Maria's head, cry with her and apologize. In actual fact, I did that right away. I held Maria's head and apologized, crying. Maria didn't stop crying. On the contrary, she rejected me, the one who had torn her closest friend apart, and pushed me away forcefully with both hands. I had been on my knees in an unnatural position, so I fell backwards easily. Maria scraped together the yellow scraps of cloth and cotton bits, buried her face in them, and cried even more. Watching that, another emotion welled up. It welled up rapidly, and then it burst. After all, she refused to make up with me even though I had apologized, and there was nothing else I could do now anyway, and it was all Maria's fault in the first place. Since she's too busy playing with stuffed animals all the time like this, she can't make any friends, and that's why people treat her like a freak. This is a perfect opportunity to give her some instructive guidance. After all, it's not like I was pampered all the time. Everything eventually breaks, it's stolen, is destroyed by someone. Even I had lots of toys and treasure stolen, broken, mocked, and thrown away by my brothers and sister and father and mother. But when I cried about that, while I might have shed a few tears, not once did I sob like this and trouble my parents. Throw a tantrum, get mad, hit the floor and kick and make a racket. Even though I always wanted to, I thought I'd get in more trouble if I did, so I always held it back. It's because I held it back that I was able to become the wonderful adult that I am now. At that moment, I felt something strange. The same feeling as when you use a tool recklessly and it finally breaks, so that only the base is left. But I wasn't using a tool. I'd just been repeatedly hitting Maria's head with both hands. So I looked at my hands. From my wrists onwards, My hands had broken off, splintered, and disappeared. As though only that part of my arms had become ceramic. No, as though all of me from the wrists onward had suddenly become ceramic and had broken and fallen. They must have gotten filled with cracks because I hit Maria too much before falling off. After all, look, aren't both of my wrists lying smashed by my feet? There was no pain, but the shocking sight of my hands breaking off from the wrists onwards made me scream.
Nani kore? 私の手。
これでもうマリアを叩けないの。
Ignoring my confusion, Maria spoke with an icy voice, slowly moving her hands away from her head where they had been defending against my barrage.
何よこれ。私の手。何をしたのよマリア。これは何なのよ。何これ。
Behind Maria's back, a black silhouette had appeared. It was the silhouette of an adult. Who?
娘の頭をね、絵本をね、温かい食事を作ることのできる腕など残してもよいか。
ママはマリアの頭を撫でるより叩く方が多いよ。絵本なんかめくってくれない。ご飯だって作ってくれない。マリアが自分で買いに行くの。でも同じお店に何度も行っちゃいけないし、顔を覚えられてもいけない。おまわりさんに話しかけてもいけない。なんで？どうして？マリアが悪いの？マリアはママに撫でてもらったり、絵本を読んでもらったり、一緒にご飯を食べたりしちゃいけないの？どうして？マリア悪くないよ。マリア悪くない。ママが悪い。ママは一緒に遊んでくれないけど、サク太郎は一緒に遊んでくれた。本も読んでくれた。テレビも見てくれた。一緒にご飯も食べてくれた。ママよりもっと大切な友達だったのに。
悪かったと思ってるわ。でも仕方ないでしょ。ママは仕事で忙しいのよ。仕事で。ママの仕事が忙しいのは知ってるでしょ。仕方ないのよ。仕方ない。
そう、これは仕方なき。そなたの娘を傷つけ、心を引き裂かれ、涙に血を浮かべることさえ、これはなれば今この場にてこのようなることになるもまた、すべては仕方なきこと。さあマリ、母を名乗った女の言い分は以上だ。許せ、否、無罪か、はたまた有罪か。
許せない。ママは有罪だ。サク太郎にママがしたのと同じ目に遭わせてやる。ママを首の縫い目のところ引き裂いて中の綿をぶちまけてやる。
Maria's eyes ominously flashed blue. In that instant, invisible massive arms stuck their fingernails out and tightly grasped Rose's entire body. As the bones all over her body made a sound like twigs being stepped on, they cracked readily and broke apart. Rosa had understood vaguely. The massive arms were probably her own arms from the time she'd torn Sakutaro apart. From a stuffed animal's perspective, her arms certainly would have been this massive. So she could imagine what would happen next. The sharp nails stuck deep into the base of her neck, and she heard the skin tearing with her own ears. Then, as the two witches watched over her, Rosa's flesh was split in two, top and bottom. When Sakatara had been torn apart, bits of cotton had flown about like snowflakes. But in Rosa's case, something like black, thick tar came out, filthily flying all over the place. There wasn't even a trace of the red of blood. It was something black, filthy and thick. It was probably what a bloodless, tearless human kept inside their body.
これはすごい。醜い。なんと汚らわしき中身か。見事であったぞマリア。さあどうか。そなたの復讐はそなたは母を許せる否無罪有罪か。
許せない。まだまだ許せない。有罪だ。
When Beatrice brandished her pipe cane, gold butterflies seeped up and restored Rosa's broken flesh in an instant.
"一つの命で償えぬほどのそなたの大罪、身をもって知れ。そして自らの深き罪を思い出す。さあさあ思い出してごらんなさい。そなたがどれほどの罪を犯した。
もしもし、ママなの？ママは何時に帰ってくるの？ごめんなさいね。今日も仕事が忙しくて、泊まりになってきた。またお仕事でお泊まり？ママのお仕事、今日も大変だね。うん、ごめんね。本当に忙しいの。もうずっと会社に缶詰よ。外の空気も吸えやしないわ。ママの仕事は早く終わらすだけじゃダメなの。より良いデザインを上げないと次から仕事をもらえない大変な仕事なのよ。だからどうしても時間がかかっちゃうの。うん、分かってるよ。マリア、いい子でお留守番してるからお仕事いっぱい頑張って早く終わらせてお家に帰ってきてね。ママのお仕事を分かってくれて明日美味しいケーキを買って帰ることを約束するわ。ケーキいらないよ。ケーキ屋さんによって遅くなるよりその分ちょっとでも早くママが帰ってくる方が嬉しい。大丈夫よ。早く帰ってくるわ。だから美味しいケーキを2人で食べて美味しい紅茶を2人で飲んで一緒に新しい絵本を読みましょう。この間買った狼と羊のパズルで遊びましょうね。2人で一緒に。約束よ。うん、約束。待ってるね。お仕事頑張ってね、ママ。
ほうほう、寂しい話ではあるが互いを思い合う良き親子愛ではないか。何か問題があるというのかマリ。そしてローザ。
その約束は私次の日の夕方に約束通りケーキを買っていつもより早い帰宅をしたはずよ。マリアは知ってたよ。あの日の夕方ね、ママ宛てに着払いの荷物が来たけどお財布の中にお金が足りなかったからママにどうしようって相談したくて会社に電話したの。特別な時以外はかけちゃダメって言われ、ママのお仕事の大切なものだったら悪いしと思って電話したの。そしたらママはお休みだって言われた。その日はずっと前からお休みに決まってて遠くへ遊びに行っているって言われたの。マリアは知ってたよ。ママが嘘をついてるってずっと知ってた。
でもね、サクタロがそうじゃないってマリアを叱ってくれたの。ママは毎日お仕事でとても大変。マリアを放っておいて遊んでるはずなんてないって。ママはお休みって言った人はきっと何か勘違いして言ってしまったんだよって。サクタロがそう言うんだもん。マリアは信じたよ。マリアは信じた。ママ大好き。ママ大好き。もちろんママだってマリアを愛してる。愛してるって。